have it not work. Unless I was smart enough to move them, which I doubt for some reason. 3, 2, 1, and and chaos ensues. I was gonna just load it, but I was like, let's watch it explode. Let's let it take off and fly into the great blue yonder there. Oh man, things just keep exploding. That thing does a little flip before it smashes into the ground. Check your staging. Always. Forever. So there we go. I'm like, what happened? Oh, derp. Staging was wrong. Fix that. And then I think I just go straight for another launch. And let's watch how this goes. Dum 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 dum. Boom, 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 boom. And launch. Here we go. The first piece of the puzzle to our mission to Laythe, launching, ripping through the Kerbin atmosphere to get into space. Surely this will work. Slowly but surely. I think I have the thrust down just a little bit. Don't really want to be going over 200 meters a second. Otherwise, you're basically just wasting fuel. And waiting. Oh, and there it goes. And it's gone. You can hear me staging, just giving up and just clicking off stages. Something broke loose. I'm not even gonna bother to check what it was. I just assumed some kind of struts broke, so I gave up on that and just started literally adding tons and tons of struts just to make it a little bit stronger. So sometimes the struts they're designated to a certain distance, and after that they can't make them any longer. So there's a clever little trick you can do where I'm going to show it to you right now, where you just add some kind of octagonal whatever strut, I forget what they call them, and then use that as a point to go up. Click, and there you go. It basically makes it twice as long and adds stability for something that's really tall but doesn't have a way to connect to anything. That's going to make that centerpiece nice and stable so it's not swaying around. Although in the new update, it probably wouldn't have been an issue. I hadn't updated the game yet, just yet. So this is still not that version. Stupid struts weren't doing what I wanted them to, and yeah. That's great. Lovely. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. We're gonna slap a couple more on there just for either overkill or actual safety. It doesn't matter. Kerbals don't care, do they? The newest video for Kerbal update is amazing. I really love their animator. He's great. I wish I had his job. But yeah, great video, awesome. It's all about the ARM update, so they got the mission control and everything, and I can't wait for that either, so that's gonna be great. I hope they do more collaborations with NASA, that'd be sweet, because usually we get some sweet new parts out of it. And guess what? Check your staging. No, just kidding. Something broke and then I had no control over anything. So I decide that there's nothing really wrong with this. I probably just broke something because of the launch sequence. So I was like, there's really nothing else I can add to make this thing stronger. So I just kind of say, screw it, I'm gonna launch it again, and hopefully this time it doesn't break. And launch, go, go, go. There we go, lift off of the Laythe Bound ship. And this time I was like, ah, screw it, I'll go full throttle. I don't care if I'm wasting fuel, I got tons of it. And I figure out halfway through this flight that I actually probably didn't need to waste fuel, because it doesn't matter. Get tons of fuel. You see how those engines aren't overheating as much as they would if they were close together. So definitely good to have all this space in between them. This would have been so much easier with the new update, the new engines and parts. But whatever. We're going hardcore. So those solid fuel boosters are about to run out, and look what happens. Something awesome. I'm an idiot. Stage. And it wipes out literally half my engines. But I'm like, it's still good. I just throttle up and say we're gonna get there. And then there goes all my thrust. No more thrust. I got one engine to push 3 tanks of fuel. I was like, this is not gonna work. But actually, it does. It's starting. I mean, it's slowing down right now. But I was like, I'm pretty far up there, and we're going fast enough. So maybe, just maybe, I can get this into orbit. And when do we start speeding up? Nope, still slowing down. Gaining altitude, though. And gaining speed. Look at that. Looks like this will make it into orbit. Tons of fuel. It's got another stage after this that we can just use to push the top half up. Keep on going. So right now we're going to push it at 90 degrees here. Or technically it would be 45 for anyone that's viewing it, but it says the 90 on the nav ball is what we're looking at, though. Just so that I can increase my Apple apps or Perry apps, whatever it is at this point. I guess it would be Apple apps. Don't have a Perry apps yet. Come on, push. Push. And now I'm thinking it's probably going to get too close to the time to Apple apps. Will be too small, and then I'll just end up falling back to Earth, to Kerbin there. And here we go, and now I get the first look at my orbit, and we're good. It looks great. Looks like we'll make it into orbit. No more staging problems as far as I remember. Oh wait, or are there? How do you mess that up? How do you stage? Look at this. It had already staged at some point, separated, and thankfully it didn't hit me, and it just flies off into nowhere. Unfortunately, wasting the rest of that fuel, but whatever. We have plenty of fuel in this bad boy, so we're gonna take this all the way into orbit because we got plenty of fuel. We get the fuel in the upper tank, which I would prefer to keep in that tank, and so that we don't have to do an orbital rendezvous just to refuel it. But hopefully we'll be able to do the orbit, get the orbit there with a lower stage, so that we can pump some of the fuel to the upper stage, and then have just enough to deorbit that lower stage, as we don't want any floating debris. So I put a control point on it so that we can turn it around and deorbit that bad boy. So going up, I'm thinking 75 kilometers or whatever. So 75 looks good to me. And this is just some boring stuff. Basically, we just fast forward. And basically, for whatever reason, I totally forgot to put reaction wheels on this thing, so it turns so slowly, which I will fix in the next stage, the next part of this project. I will put some engines on it and add some reaction wheels so that we have a little bit more control with this thing. Just cruising to Apple apps so that we can thrust up and get this thing going. And then I think I should just be able to thrust up here. Yeah, I'm thrusting it up right now. So making it into orbit just fine. Normally I'd just fast forward this part, but I don't know, maybe find it interesting or whatever. I didn't want to make the video too long. Just about 20 minutes on the mark there. So now we got our Perry apps, and then I was like, Perry apps is way too high, I gotta turn it around. So I slowly turn the thing around and then decrease my Apple apps or Peri apps or whatever. I just decrease that so it's an even, nice, even orbit. So that when we're doing orbital rendezvous, it's not crazy. And it makes everything easy. But that's going to be it for this video. Shortly after I do all this stuff, KSP crashes. Um, but I will do my best to update this to the newest version of KSP so that we can working on the newest version. We can try out some of the new parts and continue to work on this Laythe Bound project. But until then, just don't forget to subscribe and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.